You are not experiencing suffering. You are suffering, you're experiencing. And that was very powerful for me to hear. You're not experiencing suffering because suffering, it doesn't exist as a thing. You see, suffering exists as a state and a way in which you meet your experiencing. So what Sri Nisargadatta was doing in answering in this way was actually, actually giving him back the power. Don't let something external determine how you respond. You're not experiencing suffering because suffering is not something that exists unto itself. It is to do with a way in which you meet situations and circumstances. And I'm saying now, regard, if I can say this, regard all your experiences as gifts and opportunities from God. Meaning that, if you say, yeah, but he gave me suffering. No, God doesn't give you suffering. He gives you challenges and opportunities which human beings need to look and to develop a powerful discernment in order to say, to make use of our experiences, to transcend them, to transcend lower states of consciousness. If you have that outlook, then for sure you will at some point turn and says, it is good. It was good for me. How many times, if you can throw your mind back a little bit and look and see how often an experience that was sour, bitter, acidic in the moment, even though you didn't do much about it, that later you saw that it brought a change in your life, that your life needed, but at that time you could not see, you could not evaluate the potential, the possibilities out of it. Now imagine if you met that with a higher attitude in you, that this is something that life is giving. It's giving through the instrument of this form, that person, and so on. But actually the experience is actually tailor-made for my life, to make use of it, to transcend and to go beyond limited states of outlook and conditioning and identity. If you take that higher view, you will see that, wait a second, you will waste no time just complaining and being a victim. I would not encourage anyone, under any circumstances, to take on the label of a victim. Because when you take on the label of a victim, it's like you don't need an enemy. You're already punishing yourself. You're already fighting against the wind. So use your situations and circumstances. It's easy in this world sometimes to blame, it's this one. And sometimes it is true. Sometimes what someone is doing is not true. It's not good. But it doesn't mean that you're going to turn two bad things don't make a good thing. So, there's a saying, a wise saying, and I like to share it. It says, a wise man builds a house out of the stones with the stones his enemies throw at him. He builds a house for himself and lives happily in this house. When I hear things like this, it means life is full of encouragement, opportunities to grow. If you don't grow as a human being, doesn't matter where you are, you could live on an island by yourself. Opportunities are there to expand, to grow in your inner awareness of life and self, So please, learn to act more than react. Stop, reflect, take a moment, ponder, feel the impact of these experiences that come to you, but don't blast out of it. Stay with it and watch how it functions within you and how your mind and personal identity may join in with the wrong or a bad attitude, wrong response, and turn something which presents an opportunity into a kind of betrayal or into some kind of dissension into lower states. You have the power as conscious beings because that's what you are. Don't look to other people always to help you. Take the responsibility because God has put, you are consciousness. You cannot be alive and not be conscious. You may say, of course, you can give me examples of people who are in, a poor state of mind or something like this. But that's not the general. Let's go for the general movement for now, and then we can look at those after. You have within you, as a healthy human being, the capacity and the potential to think for yourself, and even in situations that others may tell you it is hopeless, wherever there seems not to be a way, God makes a way for you if you have the right attitude. Every one of you is worth it. Nobody came into life to be a loser and to just, suffer. That is an option. It is a possibility. We are free to be free and we are free to be bound. Make use of this kind of advice. Don't let anyone tell you anything that is going to bring you down. And bringing you down means to weaken you in consciousness, to make you feel dependent always on other people's handout. You have the power. God gives you the power, and God never leaves you. It's we, through our mind and ego, turn away from this immense peace and source within ourselves. Because sometimes we haven't tasted the fruit of it enough to trust it, So you have to, either you have an intuitive trust, or, by grace, you have that trust to at least try and to see, wait a second, to understand that by holding grudges and unforgiveness towards others, it's you who suffer most. And sometimes we don't see that. We almost feel like, no, I'm punishing you by hating you. I said, no, you're also punishing yourself. And there is a point, of course, there are people who do very wrong things, evil things, intentional things to others also. Should you just forgive them? I said, don't be in such a hurry to forgive. First, try to understand that, in the world, it's a very unpredictable place. And I would say, if you live by the light, you will be taken care of by the light. Human beings are not just gifted with great understanding of the self, We have to somehow develop in that. But I just want to encourage that it's not so difficult. If you have the heart for it, and you have the heart to say, to seek, either through meditation or through prayer, to say to a higher consciousness, to say, I am open for this, please help me to go higher, to understand, because it's not easy. If I'm meeting life only from my conditioning, I can't see a way I can do that. Help me to raise above my present level of maturity to the place where I can, be to transcend my own weakness, and maybe to be an encouragement to others in some simple way, some way. Then I know light comes, because if anybody's special, it's because of their openness. Their openness to look in a direction that maybe seem new to them, but their heart is helping them say, listen, have a go, try. But I say, bless to everybody. Bless. Bless to everyone. It's not easy to be in this life if you're not aware of what God means in your heart, if you're not as yet, although it is there anyway. But if you're not aware of it as yet, then yes, life is full of challenges and promises that it cannot fulfill without your inner growth. Everything is transient, everything is momentary. But yes. But in you is the highest possibility. In you is the highest possibility always. You cannot look to man to for success. You have to look to the higher power for success, that the success I'm speaking about. Not just success about money and property and fame, but success in terms of an inner completeness, a peace, and natural happiness, and empathy and compassion for other people, and a sense of justice and these things, the peace that comes with that. This for me is these are the real fruits of the human experience.